Welcome to another round of poker. Here's my favorite hand of the game. So I raise pre-flop, I get one caller. He bets into me, I call. He bets into me, I call. He bets into me, I raise all in. He calls and...
Yes. Oh, no way, man. Ace and a queen, two pair. That's a hand you never lose.
Hello, and welcome to another round of Poker in VR. In this session, I have some aggressive players on my table. And I love playing against aggressive players. It used to be a problem when I was brand new, but once I figured out how to deal with the aggressive players, it is so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the initial entry to this video, because that was awesome. The guy landed on the table and I took his 300k right away. That was fantastic. But we have some more stuff going on here, and I had a really good session. Last one was just a lot of bluffing people out if you watched it, but I came in or left with basically the same amount of money that I came in with. This one is different. Hope you enjoy. Leave a comment, leave a like, ask questions. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Let's go. Alright, so let's start with the first playable hand. This guy here has been betting super aggressively, and I've been waiting for a hand to be able to get in and play with him. He's been betting big pre-flop, he's been betting big on the turn in the river, and just with complete trash. So since he didn't raise this time, I thought I would raise pre-flop and see if I could get him to put more money in. And right away, you can see he looks at the guy over there, but he starts to telegraph that he's going to be betting more. I love aggressive players because they reach for their chips right away, and I can tell they're going to bet, so I just let them do a lot of the betting. So we got a couple of calls, and this guy raises, and the guy next to me thinks for a little while, and he eventually folds. And then I decide, well, this is a good part, let me just go all in, because I want to isolate the person across from me, but sadly, the guy next to me calls, and then I get a call from my target. Now, when this comes up, you can't see it clearly, but if somebody had a 3 or a 6, they had a full house. Nobody had a 3 or a 6, and I had high card. So I ended up winning a nice pot and getting started. Okay, so here we are on another hand a little while later. I'm still looking to try to isolate the guy across from me. He's been raising and bluffing an awful lot. So when he limps into the pot, I put in a raise 5 times the big blind to try to get some folds. But unfortunately, I haven't been on the table for very long, and this table seems to be one that does an awful lot of calling. So it winds up that I get 2 callers, 1 guy folds, and this guy who is bluffy was playing with his chips before, indicating he wanted to raise, so he does a minimum raise, and everybody calls. So we end up going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes up, and it is Queen 4-10 with 2 clubs, so I've got a backdoor club draw, and I've got middle pair. But when action checks around to me, I'm going to put in a bet, just a continuation bet, mainly because I'm trying to fold some people out who didn't like the flop. So I got 1 fold, but I get everybody else calls. So we get a call there, and of course this guy calls. He considers raising, but he ends up just putting in the call with the exact amount of money. So he's playing with that there. And then we get another fold. So we've got 3 ways to the turn. And the turn comes up, and it's a jack of hearts. So that kind of blows my flush draw, but now I've got a straight draw. I've got 3rd pair, which isn't great, so when he bets into me, I'm just going to call at this point. I know that he's very bluffy, and I'm just going to call down with my bluff catcher, essentially. So my straight bricks, and here I am with 3rd pair, and he keeps on putting money in. I know that he bluffs with absolutely anything, so I call, the other guy folds, and it turns out that my pair of 10s is good, and I take more of his money. Yay! Sadly, I was only able to get 3 hands in with this guy with decent cards. And this is the final hand. So I get pocket fives on the button, and with low pocket pairs and a sticky table, people who are calling, decent pre-flop raises, I decide I'm just going to limp in with everybody else and do the standard limp in and see what I can get for a flop, hoping to set mine. It comes up 8-6-2 with 2 clubs, 2 spades. But, so I'm sitting here with third pair. It's not all that great, but it doesn't really look like anybody is super interested in the pot. So the action checks around to the aggressive guy, and of course, because nobody else bet, he decides to put in a bit of a bet. So he puts in a 2 big blind bet, and I call him because I know he bets with anything and that he's very bluffy. We get a fold, we get a call, and we get a fold. So we're going 3 ways to a turn. The turn is a 3, and now I've got third pair and I've got a gut shot. And the action checks around to me, and I decide to see if I can get the person I'm not targeting to fold, and he does. So he folds, and my target calls, and another 8 comes up. So now it's paired the board. All I've got is 2 pair. He bets 42,000 into there, and I decide that I'm going to raise him. And of course he calls because he calls everything, and I have no idea what he has, but he loses, and I win with a pair of pocket fives. The guy next to me is the one who had the big pot with me at the beginning of the video, and he's seeing this winning with pocket fives, and he's like, what? So when the new guy on the table comes to the table and sees something like somebody winning with third pair and winning a big pot, that kind of sets some things in his mind, and I love that. So he limps in with his cards, and since I've got suited broadways, I decide I'm going to raise and see if I can get some folds. So I get 1 call, I get 2 folds, and I get another call. The flop comes up, ace, 7, queen, rainbow. I've got a backdoor flush draw, I've got a straight draw, gut shot, so when he bets his 15k, I call, and the other guy gets out of the way. So now we're going 2 ways to a turn. And there we go. I get my straight. And now I do something that I tend to do to try to suck people in. I play with my cards a little bit, and then I finally put in the money like I was thinking of folding, and the 10 of spades comes on the turn, the river. It really doesn't do anything. So when he raises 45k, I figure I've got the best hand. I don't think he has a flush, so I decide to raise and put them all in. He came to the table with 300k, and he put all of his money in, and whammo! I take it away.
Oh, no way, man.
Sadly, the guy across from the table left me, and I can't take any more of his money. But it looks like the guy to my right is a big bettor now, so hey, that'll be awesome too. So I'm in position, I'm on the button, I've got ace-5 suited. When the action limps around to me, I raise it to 5 times the big blind, and I only get 1 caller. So the guy to my left calls me, the other one folds, and then the one that I just took 300k from decides to fold as well. The flop comes out, and it's very favorable for us. It's a 9-3-10 with 2 hearts. I've got a nut flush draw, and when the action checks to me, I do my standard half pot bet, and that's all it needs to take it down. So he folds, and I take it down wonderfully again. And here's the stats for my game that I was playing. So for the session, I had played 35 hands. I won 20% of them. My voluntary put into pot is 46.67%, and my hands raised are 16.67%. You can also see my all-time. So I played over 26,000 hands with this one player. My average win rate is 25%, VPIP 63.86, and my average raise rate is just under 14%. here we are. This is the last hand of this session on this table. I'm on the small blind, and I've got Queen 4 suited in spades. And even though it's not a very strong hand, I'm on the small blind, and everybody just limps around, so I decide to complete and see what a flop brings. The flop is 2 Queen 2 with 2 hearts and a spade, so I've got a backdoor flush draw, I've got top pair, and then another pair of 2s. But I decide to check because this table could definitely have crappy cards that would include a 2. So action checks around to me, and we go to a turn 3-way. The turn comes up an 8 of spades. Now I've got a front door flush draw, and I've got top pair, and nobody's bet the previous round, so I decide to put in a small bet. I get a fold, and then the guy next to me, who I had burned right away as soon as he joined the table, he folds as well, and I take down a nice little pot. Here's the final results that I had. I actually joined this table with 150k, and I walked out with over 1 million. And that was a very short play session, less than an hour. It was very satisfying. Alright, so there's that play session. I hope you enjoyed watching. It definitely demonstrates that between my last play session and this play session, you can bluff and you can win some pots, but you have to be careful who you bluff, and you have to be careful how much you bluff, because it's really easy to tell if you are just a bluffy player, and it's so easy to bluff catch those kind of people and make good money. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some stuff, and that maybe you're interested in coming playing Poker VR with us. We'd love to see you on the tables. Until next time, take care.